Yalla, I think we're ready,
Yes,
right?
they're ready.
Yes. Let's start. Kevork.
My name is Kevork Mourad. I'm a Syrian artist from Armenian descent. I've been in this country for America for 17 years. We send our regards from Boston.
Hello, my name is Younes in English. I'm a visual artist and a writer. I've been living in the US for 16 years, and I'm originally from Syria.
I'm Kinan Azmeh. I'm a composer and clarinetist. I live now in New York. I'm originally from Damascus, Syria.
So this is Up Genève from Boston, and we are very happy to be with you today. And you're amazing artists. And in fact, since the beginning of the revolution, there have been an amazing wave of artistic creation. And we were wondering if you consider yourself as artists, or as Syrian artists, or are engaged Syrian artists.
Engaged Syrian artist?
I think we are engaged because we are part of what's going on in the country. We want to be with people, kind of document what they're going through in our art, and to show solidarity that people and artists outside are part of the local Syrian people. So we're all together. It doesn't matter where we are in the world.
I don't think you can be an artist without being engaged. Usually being engaged is part of being an artist. You can be engaged in lots of different things. You can be engaged in your own feeling, you can engage in what's happening around you. But I think there's always a continuum between being, let's say, an artist from Damascus, and then you move on to become Syrian artist, and then you become an artist. I think people can choose where to be, but I think that's the natural development of things. So I think we try to be all of that in the same time.
And has your art and your style of creation changed throughout the years and through different phases of the revolution?
Yes, certainly things have changed. What have changed is the approach of art, actually. How do you approach art? What do you do? When the revolution began, I personally was not able to write any music anymore. I'm sorry if this goes for too long, but usually people look at art in two different ways. One school of thought is that artists reflect on the world around them, and another school of thought is that artists recreate the world in the most ideal way. But I always thought that art is about experiencing emotions that you don't have the luxury of experiencing in real life. And when the revolution began, at least for the first year, I was not able to write music because I was already experiencing emotions that I never experienced before. So the role of art for me disappeared. But then you realize that actually making art is an act of freedom in a way. And I thought, I have to do that too. I owe it to myself to keep my voice loud. So the medium I used did not change. What I wanted to say didn't change essentially, but Syria is always, occupying 90% of my brain, and I think somehow that channels into the art I'm making.
Yeah, I agree with Kinan, and I wanted to add that before the revolution, art for me was more of a personal expression. The thing that changed with the start of the revolution is that it became more of being part of a big team, a huge team, basically millions of people working toward one goal, and everyone is doing what they can do best. And for me, that was art. So the meaning of art changed to me.
So for the longest time, I was doing color paintings, canvases, again expressing my own ideas, what's the aesthetic, personal aesthetic, and of course always I put my background in it. What Armenian went through, the idea of migration. They came from a place, they're going to another place. It was always part of our genes to talk about where we came from as an Armenian. But later on, when the situation started to get downhill with people in Syria, I thought, what I'm making, it doesn't make sense. I don't want to think about finished paintings. I don't want to think about exhibitions. I want to think about documenting. I I want to think about that I am with them. So I was just listening to news. I was trying to kind of illustrate my feelings, and hopefully I can share it with them that I know what you're going through, and I want you guys know that I am with you. Hopefully I can support you. So that was my cycle of doing it. It took almost 3 years, black and white on paper. And my friends they all ask, what happened to your paintings? You need to sell. You need to just exhibit those things. I said, at this point, it doesn't make sense to think about finished product. But then, when I realized there are so many other artists are doing the same way, they are thinking about this group effort to make things better, and of course our project is part of that, and we are somehow connected, and that gave me incredible hope that it's important to tell each other around the world we can make things better, hopefully peaceful soon, and help the refugee crisis.
So you spent 1 week in Brandeis University in Boston in residency. You met with a lot of faculty staff, with a lot of students. And what were their reactions to your work, to your art, and to the Syrian situation?
I think, first of all, it was a good experience to meet with both the teachers and the students in the same school setting, and to hear different opinions what each level think about the work we're presenting. I think the main thing that I was excited about is our ability to shed some light on the Syrian revolution and the suffering of Syrian people from an artistic point of view, or artistic perspective. And that, I think the media in the West, or people in the West, really missed that, because all the information they get is usually channeled through media outlets. They see things on TV. And I think residency, like the one that we're still part of, is a good opportunity for them to see what other things Syrian people are capable of. It's not only war, it's not only fighting. There's a lot of other things that Syrian people can do, can present.
I think it's very difficult also to quantify the reaction and to really judge what kind of reaction. I think it's too early still to know if we succeeded into like either describing what's happening or even sharing our points of view. I mean, like sometimes people clap after we finish a performance, or they ask questions. So definitely the information part that Khalil mentioned, certainly that's incredibly important. But for me personally, I feel it's about being proactive. It's not enough to have the information. I personally hope that when we perform, when we talk, that people not only realize some of the facts, because nobody has the full fact, we only share from our own perspective. But we hope that people become proactive after that, And this proaction can take different shapes. It can be just learning more about Syrian history. It just starts with like locating Syria on the map, which is a huge thing too, But also being proactive in the sense, okay, this is the situation, and then you have a choice to make. Do I want to be engaged or not? I think engaging a university body, faculty and students alike, on a very human perspective, it's something that all of us share. I know it's a use and abuse cliche, but it's true. What do they do after we leave campus? I think that's what's the most important, because also we try to make it clear that actually everybody is able to help in some way. Whether not only about the refugees, because of course that's in everybody's mind, but in terms there's a situation there that needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed immediately. What can we do collectively as humans, whether university students, faculty, artists, or the community at large?
From my experience, it was great to have 1 week away from my work, my studio, my family, and be with two great people, two great artists, and to know about each other. So it's for me, first I want to know who I am, I want to know who my friends are, then I want to share this with people who come and attend to see our program. So I learned so many incredible things from them. I heard things about Syria from them. So it's kind of a great learning experience for me. Then to share this with the faculty, to share this even with the school children who we had them yesterday, it was a great experience because each one was very different. It never repeated itself. Even in my drawings, I never repeated drawings. So the questions were great, sometimes surprising, and they all want to know. And the most amazing thing, the most moving thing, they all want to be part of this crisis. They all want to help. How can we be part of this? Everyone is asking. We went to Rose Art Museum. They are willing to help us. We went to the composition program. They all want to know about it, and then with joy, they want to take part in collaboration. So it was unbelievable, kind of learning, at the same time joyous and informative time for me.
You know, there's one thing I want to add just to that, because Kevork mentioned this briefly. It was, and this is brings to attention the importance of the collective. I mean, here you have a mini collective, but we are part of a bigger collective, like also Khalil mentioned, part of like a big number of Syrian artists, and also, you know, artists from other countries who are feeling involved in this. But having this collective working in a university context, in academia, and having all these discussions, I mean, our interaction with the students was not, okay, this is the art we do, thank you, bye-bye. No, it was actually about dissecting the art we're doing and giving historical background and emotional background to it. But also hearing us talk in a serious way, which we don't do often. In that, we heard ideas from each other that we never talk about usually. You know, it was good for us. It was a good challenge to have to articulate our sentiments. This is one of the hardest things actually for artists, to be able to write down or to even speak briefly, which I'm not doing very efficiently right now, about what they want to do and how does this relate to our lives, you know? So that was an incredible opportunity to spend the week actually doing that.
And I want to add one more thing. Yesterday's experience working with the school children was very moving, especially when they walked in. It was very loud, and we were all worried that this is going to be chaos. As soon as we started performing and showing them what we have to tell them, at the end, several, maybe 10 kids came, they thanked us. And it was very, very moving to see kids that age in America, they are interested. It means we have hope, we can do this more.
So Wake Up Genève is a movement based in Switzerland, and we're trying to connect with other parts of the world, and now Boston, hopefully. What would you like to see happening maybe in Switzerland in terms of action, people that maybe could support Syria? What would you like to see there? Who could maybe help you and help you?
I think I can say community-based art is very important. To let those kids who don't have anything to do, to engage with local artists from Switzerland. There's so many amazing museums and galleries. They have all the facilities to share with those kids. Let them be engaged. There's nothing worse than to be bored. And those kids, they have so much to share with their creativity, with their stories. And I'm pretty sure locals, they will learn from those kids' experience. I'm saying kids because our hope is in them. They're going to learn about the Western culture. And they're all beautiful. So I think art is a good start in theater, in painting, in music, all sorts of things, filmmaking. And if they want us to go there and share this experience, we'll be thrilled.
You know, there's one also little thing. You know, one has always to remember, this is something that I say over and over, but you know, it's always good to know what you can do and what you cannot do. You know, I always realize the limitation of what we do also, you know. I think the three of us share this conviction that the art we do. I mean, my clarinet, for example, can never stop a bullet, and it can never bring the refugees home. It can never bring a democratic secular state to Syria. It doesn't do that. But what it can do, it can inspire people. And I think when we are reaching out to other communities, I mean now Genève as an example, art does things and it does inspire people and give them a purpose of life. People forget in a crisis like this how important playing is. Yes, food is very important and shelter is very important and all of this is very important, but also feeling hopeful and having a purpose in life. Art does provide not the full answer, but it provides a little answer, and people should remember that actually playing and joy and hopefulness is contagious too. And if you think about the community at large, you hope that it's contagious in some kind of a pyramid way that goes into the decision makers. I mean, I'm just being inspired by the title and say "Wake Up Genève." What does that mean really? It means like people have to become proactive. We are all in this together, and art does facilitate this way.
It's strange when you talk about Genève because it has this political weight in the world usually, and we can. I don't want to repeat what Kevork and Kinan were saying about encouraging people there to be more proactive regarding art and regarding basically giving hand or like spreading a hand to Syrian artists, not only in Western countries but even in refugee camps in Turkey and Jordan. There's a lot of youth, a lot of people there that are interesting. They have a lot of things to say. And it's nice to also see these voices from Syria or from around Syria, from camps around Syria, to see their voices presented in Genève. And also to be more proactive with connecting this human-based activism with the political activities that goes in Genève. And I think the timing could have been done to be better today because we were just discussing this meeting that happened. Was it yesterday? With world leaders basically meeting there, and as usual, all for nothing. Nothing came out of it. And the sad part is we're talking about, let's forget about politics, but the Syrian people need to be present in every venue, in every event that is related to their suffering, to their cause. And I encourage people in Genève, and Wake Up Genève, to be more active regarding these issues.
Would you like to send any final message, either in Arabic, in French, in English, to the Swiss people, to the people in Switzerland, to the Syrian refugees in Switzerland, to volunteers, whatever you would like to say?
I'm going to say in Armenian. Պիտի մաղթեմ բոլոր ժողովրդին, որ ցեվով օգնեն Սուրիայի քաղաքացիներուն, քանի որ մենք հայերս առաջին անգամ գրծանք հանգիստ տեղ գտնել Սուրիո մեջ եւ հիմա ժամանակն է վերադարձնենք այս լավությունը ժողովրդին։ Շնորհակալություն։
Je voudrais dire que nous sommes tous ensemble dans cette situation-là. Alors, travaillons-nous ensemble.
I have nothing.
It's clear cut ending. I have nothing.
I was going to say in Turkish. Hepsimiz arkadaşık.
Thank you. Did I make lots of mistakes in the French phrase?
No, that was perfect.
That was good?
Yeah,
Thank
that was
you.
Excellent. Thank you.